Atheists, what do you believe in? Serious.
We need to look out for each other because help isn't coming.
My wife's 3 rules of life. Stay safe. Have fun. Don't be a DK.
1. Be human. 2. Breathe. 3. Don't lose socks.
When I was young, I used to think that after death you would have access to a PC that you could see absolutely anything about your life. Stats, any question you had no matter how obscure, replays of moments, perspectives of others in relation to you. No matter what you wanted to know, if it was relatable to you, you could see it. I know it's silly, but as time goes on I just want it to be real, and I don't think I'd have any issue allowing myself to fall into that delusion. Edit. Why did pretty much all the replies to my comment get removed?
I believe in a universe that doesn't care, and people that do.
This is really well phrased. Bravo.
Wish I could take credit. It's from a quote from a game that resonated with me a lot and I still think about it all the time.
Nothing. Serious.
I feel this way about death. When I was 5, my grandfather died and my cousin Simple said, "He is dead, that means you are gone forever." Everything ends up dying, even plants and animals. I'm now in my 40s and still have this simplistic view of life and death. People think I'm ambivalent to life and death, but it's just what it is.
You're born. You live. You die. That's it. After you die you cease to exist, the same as before you were born.
I think a lot of religious people struggle to understand how people can content themselves with this. Too bleak. I'd rather live with an uncomfortable truth than a convenient untruth though. This perspective means that you take responsibility for your life and don't just put everything down to God's will, and things like fate. You also don't pin all of your hopes on an afterlife which will never happen. You live while you are alive because that's all you've got.
Realistically, I think nothing happens. We literally experience nothing after death. Same thing that we experience before birth. We don't exist, so it's nothing. I think the tenet that we should follow while living is to try to be happy and healthy while minimizing the damage we do to each other. What I would like to happen after death is whatever you believe in exists. I think Christians should get to go to heaven if they truly believe in it. Hindus and Buddhists get reincarnated, and everyone else also gets to experience what they believe they will experience. I would still experience nothing. Maybe it's one of those things where at the moment of death their brain makes them experience what feels like an infinitely long moment in time where they experience their afterlife. I just think it would be neat for everybody.
I do not fear death. I had been dead for billions and billions of years before I was born, and had not suffered the slightest inconvenience from it. Mark Twain. Edit. Actual quote posted below by you, Manimal28, which I then looked up and found this, "No terrors for me" link.
Just be a kind and empathetic person, not because you're worried about some cosmic justice, but because it's the right thing to do. If there is some being that created us, there's no way they actually care about believing in it or adhering to some rules from over 2,000 years ago. Also, a big thing for me is that I find the idea that you need religion or the Bible in order to have morals and ethics pretty dumb. It's pretty effing clear that most evangelicals have neither. But my main thing is being a good person simply because, as George Costanza once said, we're living in a society. If you're only a good person in order to make it to heaven, you probably aren't actually a good and moral person.
Live a good life. If there are gods and they are just, then they will not care how devout you have been, but will welcome you based on the virtues you have lived by. If there are gods, but unjust, then you should not want to worship them. If there are no gods, then you will be gone, but will have lived a noble life that will live on in the memories of your loved ones. Marcus Aurelius.
Myself. I've always been there for me.
That motherfucker is also the source of a lot problems for me. Atheism generally isn't a belief in the usual sense of the word. It's a lack of belief in a deity. You don't need reasons for not believing in something. You need reasons for believing. Not believing is the default position.
Asterisk. There is no plan, no grand design. There is what happens and how we respond to it. Asterisk. Justice only exists to the extent we create it. We can't count on supernatural justice to balance the scales in the afterlife, so we need to do the best we can to make it work out in the here and now. Asterisk. My life and the life of every other human being is something that was extremely unlikely. That makes it rare, precious, and worth preserving. Asterisk. Nothing outside of us assigns meaning to our lives. We have to create meaning for our lives ourselves.
Theists argue that there is no point to life if you're not religious. I argue this is our one shot at life, and that makes it more valuable than the idea that there's another life waiting for us.
Science, how dope nature is.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.